Have you ever wanted to purchase a new home but you didn't know when to start the whole home buying process? Today we're going to talk about the 6 biggest factors you should weigh when deciding on what time you should start looking for your new home. Hi, my name is Trent Ward. I'm a real estate agent with eXp Realty in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I release real estate related topics like this and others on a regular basis, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so let's get started. The biggest factor you should weigh is, do you want pre-owned or you want a new construction home? Now this can change your timeline drastically, especially if you want something that's very custom built, because you're going to need a lot more time for that. For instance, if you want something that's going to be built from ground up, I'd say you want to allocate a year of time, because it's going to take them to build the house probably about 8 to 10 months. And then you also have to wait on the lot depending on the builder. Because new construction is such a high commodity right now, a lot of people are on wait lists just to get a contract to purchase the land for them to build the property on. So once you get on that wait list, it could be a couple of months or maybe a couple weeks before you can get a contract so that you can start building on that property. But if you want something that you can move in a little bit sooner, you're gonna go for more of a pre-owned home. Now those homes you can move in probably 30 days to 90 days depending on what the seller situation is. But there are several other time considerations you should take into place even when going with those options. Now the next step that we're going to talk about is the pre-approval process. Now you have to gauge on how busy you are and how readily available you have all of the documents ready to send to the lender. It could take you some time because you have to collect things like your pay stubs, your W-2s, your tax returns, employment verification, the list goes on. And if you have a more complicated scenario, then it might take you a little bit longer. And in those situations, it's going to take the lender and the underwriter more time to go through it. So you have to gauge how long it's going to take you to get all those documents together. Then the lender could take a day up to a week or two, depending on how complicated your situation is. So get those documents to the lender as soon as possible so you can get on to the next step. And the next part of this process is getting comfortable with your budget. Now, once you get your budget from your pre-approval letter, your real estate agent can start finding you homes in neighborhoods that meet your criteria. Now, remember, a key point of this is when you see these properties online, it can seem like it's a deception when you actually go see them in person, because remember, the people that are taking these photos are professional photographers. So that is their job. They want to get you into the door to see the property. And that's okay, because the goal is to get you to see the property so that you can kind of see what the property has to offer, and then you can go from there. So be sure to allow some time to get comfortable with your budget, especially if you're new to the home buying process. So the next part of this process is getting comfortable with the neighborhoods. Now, you might start looking at a certain neighborhood, and then after a few home tours, you kind of hone into the place that you actually want to be. And that's totally normal and totally fine. But spending some time in these neighborhoods beforehand, like going out to dinner or meeting some friends or doing some activities or things that you normally do on a regular basis, these are good habits to do before you start looking at the properties and while you're looking at properties. For instance, if you go look at properties and then you might end on an early day, maybe go and look at different activities in the neighborhood. Go to the parks, go eat at certain restaurants, or whatever your favorite activity is. Try to do that while you're going through the home buying process so you'll be more comfortable with these different neighborhoods. The next factor you want to consider when deciding when to start looking for properties is limited inventory. Right now, we're currently in a seller's market, which means there are a lot more buyers in the market than there are sellers. So be prepared for bidding wars on well-priced homes in desirable areas. It can take multiple iterations of finding the home that you want, putting an offer on it, and waiting for the seller to make a decision on which offer they want to accept. So make sure to allow some time for that. So the last factor on the list is seller leasebacks. Now this is a time period between closing of you buying the property and the seller moving into their new property. This can be a week, it could be a month or two, depending on the seller's situation. And a lot of times you have to negotiate how long they can stay in there and how much they're gonna pay you, because they're essentially the tenant and you are the landlord during this period of time. So I would definitely allot for at least a month and make sure that you're flexible enough that you can provide that option, because a lot of buyers don't have that option and they'll lose the house that they really wanted because they started too late. So that's it for now. If you found any of this content helpful, please give me a thumbs up. It helps promote this channel, this content, and helps other people find helpful content as well through YouTube. So I really appreciate that. And also in the comments below, let me know how long you think it takes to buy a home. How long did it take you when you first bought your first home, or your second, or your third? All right, until next time, peace. I'm recording this, right? I'm trying not to make it look as amazing. So the next, all right. Damn it, I bet that looks stupid. What am I actually trying to say? All right, until next time.